He was my best friend's cousin. So we all hang out together. And we were juniors in high school. And we got married when we were before we were seniors in high school. And he finished school. So I wasn't allowed to finish school, but that's where it began. And I had no idea until after we got married that this nuts, but I couldn't talk to nobody, couldn't see nobody, not go anywhere, talk to anybody on the phone. Pretty much isolated. Moved to a house in the country that there was nobody for miles before the kids were born. That's where I stayed. I thought, well, he'll grow out of that, or it'll get better, but it never really changed. Even if I went to work, he'd sit outside in the car and watch me through the windows. So, yeah, I mean, everything was what he wanted. My parents helped me get a place. I moved out. That was after the kids were born. He'd come by and get the kids because I felt that I couldn't stop him. And then I would be worried about how he was taking care of the kids. So, of course, everything. He'd say all the right things and get himself back into it. He'd be right back where we started, and it would be good for a month or so, and we were right back. And then the older he got, it eased up some, but it's still there. It's still, all the guilt they put you on. It will be 44 years, which I was always proud of, because no one except our parents ever did that in our family. But it's not worth it. It's just, now, since he's been gone since March, I do what I want. I wasn't doing anything wrong in the beginning, but he made me believe I was. I do what I want with the kids. The kids don't have to worry about coming to the house, because it was always a fight. There was always something. He was always picking on somebody. The grandkids, they couldn't have a good time. Kids got to where they didn't even want their kids there, and I don't blame. I didn't want to be there. The night he was picking on everybody and started a fight with the boys. The boys are men, have been trained to deal with people like this, and he picked on the wrong ones. They've had enough too. And we actually got him removed from the house, couldn't come back, and that's the first time. Because always before he would say, well, leave, just leave. And I would leave. Well, where am I going? There's nowhere to go. Or he wouldn't let me leave. He'd say leave, but then he wouldn't let me leave. Oh, he would take something off the car so it wouldn't start. He'd take my keys. He would, and my son, youngest son, has got in the middle of it. I was trying to leave, and I was having a panic attack, and he got him away from me. But he wasn't going to let me leave. But he had told me to leave. But he wouldn't let me. And then I left with my son and my daughter-in-law. But the kids took care of it that night, and I thought, this is my chance to get him out of the house. He's not going to be here anymore. He can't come back. And and then, the angels helped a lot. It says CDV. Amy's a godsend. She calls and talks to me just to talk. No strings attached, and let me say whatever I need to say. She understands. And I don't have to, the kids all understand. They've all been there. But have somebody that doesn't know you be that understanding. Because there was no talking to him. Everything was my fault, so Oh, I was just telling my daughter-in-law this last day or two. I said it feels strange because I feel like I need to call and tell him what we're doing and what we are going to do, or something I've seen, or and it's just I go home and it's just a relief that he's not there. I don't have that over my head. I mean, I'd have to meet him at the door when he got home to take all of his stuff and his lunch bag and all that stuff. And of course, there was always something that he'd gripe about by that point. I mean, he'd been home for 2 seconds. But it's just a relief not to have that over my head all the time, every minute of the day. And I don't mind being by myself. I'm not, the grandkids are close and they check on me all the time. My friends check on me. If I want to go to town, get a soda, I go to town and get a soda. I don't have to have a chaperone to go do something. Oh, we've, kids are planning trips because we can take a trip now because we don't have somebody that's going to stir everything up every minute of the day. So we've got all kinds of plans to travel. I mean, we bought passports because the kids were moving. They're back. So I get to use my passport eventually because they're going to take us on a trip, or me on a trip. And I get to spend time with them and not have to worry about, he's going to pick a fight with somebody before everybody. I mean, the kids didn't even want to come over. They don't want to come to the house. Or they'd come over, they'd eat supper, and then they were gone. They just came to, and I know they were coming to see me, which is a good thing. But I want them to feel comfortable in my house. It's their house. I mean, I want my kids to know that they're welcome at any time of day, any time of night. It's their house too. So, I mean, I want them to be able to come there and be comfortable, and my grandkids to come in, do whatever they want. It's their house. So it's supposed to be a grandma. I want to be a grandma. If he doesn't want to be a grandpa, that's okay. He's the one missing out. Get out. I should have stuck with it. It never gets better. I mean, when you're in it, you think that that's the way it's supposed to be. And you deal with it every day, but it's so much better not to have that over you. It's not dragging you down. I didn't realize how much my kids suffered too when they were younger. I mean, you don't see that. You think you're sheltering them. You're not. They've told me things that I didn't even know had happened. And it's enough that I should have stayed gone when they were little. But I didn't feel I could. I didn't feel like I could do it by myself. And there are people out there, especially now, that will help. They will help you get out of it in any way they can. But back then, I didn't think I could. Yeah, I miss him. Why? I mean, I was with him for almost 50 years. That's over half of most of my life. So, but I don't miss the crap. There is a life. There is a life out there that's, you can live without him. And you can do better without him. And I've got my kids to keep me glued together. Well, it's just a little glimpse in it because there's so many. I mean, every day is something. He's got mad about something and I have no control over it. I mean, but I run out in the yard and he shot a gun over my head. I mean, the kids were little. Oh, well, that time he had went to the bar to eat lunch with some of the guys and didn't go back to work. His boss called. We were all friends. And he wanted to know why he didn't come back from work. And I said, well, he was drunk when he got home from lunch. And he found out about that I told his boss that, which his boss has been his friend for years. And I was just being honest. That's what happened. And I got a black eye from it because I shouldn't have told his boss that. And then I ran outside, and then, of course, he was shooting. He knew I was out there. He seen me go out there, and he was just shooting over my head. He said, "I'm going to shoot you." And I said, "Really?" It's not what I felt. It's got to where it was alcohol every minute. I mean, as soon as he got off work. I don't think he does it at work, but as soon as he'd get off, he would start. And he's mean when he drinks. So, I mean, he was raised in a home that had an abusive father to his mother, and I think that's, he saw it all his life. She took it. She died like that. I mean, she was still with him when she died. She never got out. She never got the peace that she deserved. Because she didn't deserve it either. She was doing nothing wrong. But even he would say, "Oh, Mom was crazy." Mom wasn't crazy. Mom was just trying to survive. Yeah, one of my friends come and got me. She says, "What are you doing?" And I said, nothing right now. She says, "Let's go get a soda." I said, "Okay." She said, "You don't have anybody there to tell you can't anymore." And I said, "That's right, come and get me." And so we call it road drinking because that's what we used to call it when we were kids. And she said, so we went to McDonald's, we got our sodas, and we just drove the gravel roads. And she said, and talked. And I would have never been allowed to do that before. There would be no way. I would have been sleeping with somebody somewhere, doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, or even going shopping with the girls. I mean, me and Patty went shopping yesterday, and that's just something that you like to do. And I wouldn't have been allowed to do that. I couldn't have went with Patty and done that. If it wasn't for my kids, I probably would have never got out. Well, and they're grown. I mean, they have families of their own now. So they're making that decision now. I don't have to make sure that I'm trying to take care of them because they're taking care of me now. So, and they are good kids. They're nothing like him. Well, you guys have helped me so. You took a lot of the burden off. I had no idea how much things cost, because I never have been through it. But when you make this choice, you don't really have any money. So trying to keep things that you've put your whole life into, like a house, is almost impossible. There is a peaceful life out there. It doesn't have to be like that every day of your life.